One day, in the quiet evening sky, in the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, something amazing and eerie happened. A passenger plane traveling from New York to Miami disappeared from radar and lost contact with the flight control tower. An investigation began immediately, but led to no results. The plane disappeared as if it had never existed. It was never found on the surface of the ocean or on the ocean floor. The families of the passengers were left in a heavy state of uncertainty and grief. However, a few weeks after the plane disappeared, local fishermen and sailors began reporting strange phenomena occurring in the skies over the Bermuda Triangle. They spoke of seeing a sparkling light that resembled the inside of a huge vortex, in which time and space seemed to intertwine. One night, a group of fishermen saw an aeroplane emerge from this sparkling vortex, which seemed to be covered in a strange glowing halo. It landed on the water, and the fishermen, full of curiosity and terror, decided to get closer. When they swam closer, they saw that the aircraft was in pretty bad shape, covered in some dark substance like blood. When they opened the door, they found the seats empty and covered in dust, but there was not a single person in the cockpit of the aircraft. Through the dark cloud, there came a whisper, as if calling them to themselves. The fishermen decided to leave this strange place, but when they tried to leave, it turned out that they could not leave this hellish vortex. They felt something invisible holding them in place. Ghosts began to appear from the dark clouds, whose faces were distorted with pain and suffering. They uttered words full of despair and loss. The fishermen realized that they had witnessed something terrible, transported to this world from another dimension. Now anyone who came close to the place could hear the screams and moans of the missing from the plane, and some claimed to have seen ghosts wandering restlessly in the sky. People considered the place cursed, and even the bravest sailors avoided it on their voyages. And the missing plane continued to serve as a grim reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved. Months after fishermen witnessed strange events in the skies above the Bermuda Triangle, a missing plane is back in the spotlight. One group of daredevils, given to curiosity, decided to get together and go in search of this mysterious place to unravel its secrets. They took to the skies in a small aeroplane, armed with cameras and equipment to measure anomalies. As they approached the place where they had previously seen the glittering vortex, the air around them began to fill with strange sounds. Whispers and screams could be heard that seemed to come from the deepest corners of their minds. The plane began to lose control, as if something invisible was trying to pull it down. Despite their best efforts, they were powerless to resist this force. Suddenly, a glittering vortex opened in front of them, and they were pulled inside as if through a portal to another dimension. They found themselves in a hellish landscape where darkness and light intertwined in an agonizing dance. The ghosts from the plane wandered around, emitting moans and screams. It appeared that time stretched slowly in this place, and they could see moments of suffering occurring in the plane as it disappeared. Among the ghosts, one stood out whose appearance was terrifying. It was the pilot of the plane, whose face was disfigured by fear and terror. He addressed the explorers, uttering words that carried anxiety and an ominous deathly mystery. Suddenly the vortex closed and they found themselves back in the skies of the Bermuda Triangle. They returned to the surface of the ocean, shocked and frightened, with records and photographs confirming their incredible experience. Those who dared to tell their stories faced disbelief and ridicule, but they all carried the weight of the truth that there is a place where reality and nightmare intertwine into a single pattern. That plane that disappeared from the sky became a symbol of a mysterious past that refuses to be forgotten. Ever since a group of researchers returned from their strange journey, the location above the Bermuda Triangle has been the subject of discussion and speculation. Despite distrust from the public and the scientific community, there were those who dared to venture out and investigate the mysterious phenomenon. One day, another intrepid crew took to the air, determined to find out what lay beyond this glittering vortex. They equipped their aircraft with advanced instruments and communications to document and pass on their experiences to the world. As they approached where the plane disappeared, they felt the air grow heavy, as if time had begun to lose its normal course. Whispers and moans could be heard all around them, creating an atmosphere of true nightmare. As they entered the sparkling vortex, they felt their aircraft being subjected to incredible forces. Their equipment began to show strange anomalies, and the time instrument stopped functioning. Their last communication signal was overwhelmed by screams and sounds that could not be explained rationally. They found themselves in a world filled with darkness and ominous light. The ghosts of the past wandered around without the crew noticing, as if they were invisible. They saw the suffering experienced by the passengers and crew members at the moment of disappearance. Every moment, every scream was recorded by their equipment, creating an eerie archive of what happened that day. One of the crew members, a brave explorer, decided to contact the spirit of the pilot, whose face was drenched in fear and despair. The pilot told them that they had survived a tragic accident, but at the moment their plane disappeared, something had pulled them into this world between dimensions, where they were now tormented, unable to leave this place. Suddenly the vortex opened before them again, and they were instantly thrown back into our world. They returned with precious information and evidence, but their own souls were damaged by this encountered horror. The despair and suffering they saw stayed with them forever. Now the stories of the disappearing aeroplane and the glittering vortex have become the subject of legends and warnings for those who dare to venture into the skies of the Bermuda Triangle. Many refuse to believe the story, but those who listen closely can catch the whispers of ghosts recounting their misfortune in the dark skies. As time passed, the tale of the adventures of intrepid explorers over the Bermuda Triangle became increasingly mystical. People began to avoid these celestial regions, seeing them as gateways to an otherworld full of darkness and misery. However, as it happens in stories, there are always those who consider themselves invulnerable to the mysteries of nature. Once again there was a group of daredevils willing to take risks to solve the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Their mission was not only to explore, but to find a way to help those souls trapped between worlds. The crew took to the skies armed not only with technological tools, but also with knowledge of spiritual practices. They planned to use their knowledge to free the souls of the disappeared, if only that was even possible. Again, when they reached the site of the disappearance, the air was filled with the same moans and screams as before. In a sparkling whirlwind, they felt strange forces trying to pull them into other dimensions. But this time, they were ready. Using their knowledge and spiritual practices, they tried to make contact with the souls wandering in this hellish world. They heard their stories, learned their names, and tried to convey peace to them. After much effort, the vortex suddenly contracted, and they were once again whisked into our world. They returned with a sense of accomplishment, but their experience changed them forever. From then on, they witnessed not only the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, but also spiritual healing. From then on, the Bermuda Triangle was no longer just a symbol of otherworldly terror. It has become a place where dark forces and light souls collide, and where anyone who dares to enter will be tested not only physically, but spiritually as well. Though many avoid this place because of its dark reputation, those who dare to delve into its secrets may find answers hidden in its mystical embrace. However, as is the case with mystical stories, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle could not be fully solved. Although the group of explorers brought light and spiritual healing, many questions remained unanswered. As time passed, new stories began to emerge. People told of strange visions and sounds that accompanied them when they got near the Bermuda Triangle. Some claimed to have seen ghosts and heard the screams of missing souls, while others claimed to have sensed something sinister in the air. The explorers who returned felt that part of the mystery remained unsolved. It was as if the very nature of the place eluded the understanding of the human mind. All that had been unearthed was only the edge of the surface, leaving mankind in a state of constant awe of the unknowable. With each new exploration and story, the Bermuda Triangle continued to frighten and attract those seeking answers. Perhaps there really is something supernatural hidden in this place that is beyond humanity's comprehension. And perhaps the true mystery of the Bermuda Triangle will remain an eternal enigma that will continue to manipulate our imagination and inspire fear and respect for the unknown. One day, a group of explorers attracted by the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle reconvened. Despite warnings and cautions, their overwhelming curiosity and desire to unravel the mysteries overcame their fear and distrust of this mystical place. The crew of experienced pilots, scientists and experts in spiritual practices took to the air in their specially equipped aircraft. They intended to contribute to the research and perhaps even find a way to unravel the mysteries of this enigmatic corner of the globe. As they approached a place known to be dangerous, the explorers began to register strange anomalies in radio communications and instruments. But their resolve was strong, and they kept moving forward despite all the warnings. When they reached the point where the mystery began to take effect, the aircraft began to be affected by unseen forces. A vortex of light and darkness suddenly appeared before them, forming a portal to another dimension. The crew felt their aircraft rising and sinking as if being pulled into a dark vortex. In the blink of an eye, all instruments stopped working, communication with the outside world disappeared. Everything around began to resemble a nightmare, from which it is impossible to wake up. The crew members experienced strange visions, heard voices and saw shadows that danced around them. The further they traveled into the depths of the Bermuda Triangle, the harder it became to know where reality ended and the nightmare began. The forces that governed this place began to test their will and determination, and soon enough it became clear that they were not just exploring the mysteries, they were becoming part of them. Suddenly the vortex closed behind them, and the explorers found themselves in a strange, distorted dimension. Shadows melted around them, and their plane seemed to float in an ocean of hell. Voices from the past penetrated their minds, enveloping them with mystical power. Faced with something beyond their imagination, the explorers realized that they were now part of the same mystery as the missing plane from years ago. Their mission became not just an exploration, but an attempt to unravel the mysteries of this parallel world and perhaps find a way to save themselves. They realized what had sucked them into the vortex of time and space, and now their fate was intertwined with the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Though they were prepared for the challenge, they could not have foreseen that they would become the new missing, leaving the mystery of the place forever unsolved. With the crew included in the vortex of time and space, they felt their consciousness becoming part of the vast ocean of mystery. Their physical bodies disappeared and they became mere shadows of the past, trapped in this mystical dimension. In this hellish world, they witnessed an endless series of events. Past, present and future were intertwined, creating the illusion of infinity. The voices of the missing ghosts of the vanished plane became their companions in this otherworldly labyrinth where time lost its meaning. Yet, for all their incredible abilities, they felt that this new reality they were sucked into was bound by misery and darkness. They realized that this price they had paid for their quest to unravel the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle was high. With each moment spent in this distorted dimension, their essences became more and more a part of the mystical appearance of this place. And perhaps that was how they became the new guardians of the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, sucked into its darkness and eternal mystery. In their absence, strange phenomena began to occur on the surface of the earth. Glittering whirlwinds appeared and disappeared like the breath of nature itself. Tales of mysterious disappearances and unexplained events took on new hues, adding mystery to the already grim legacy of the place. And so the fate of a group of explorers sucked into the vortex of the Bermuda Triangle became part of its very mystery. Their story, as if twisted by events of the distant past, became part of the mystical legacy left by the place. Now their names, like those of the missing, remained in memory only as a shadow between dimensions, tied to the eternal mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Over time, the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle continued to attract new explorers despite warnings and previous disappearances. However, each time someone tried to investigate this mystical region, the trail of missing explorers seemed to expand, adding new chapters to their mysterious story. One of the latest group of determined explorers to attempt to unravel the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle has embraced advanced technology and methods. They used quantum computers and advanced anomaly measuring instruments in an effort to shed light on the mysterious forces that lurked in these skies. As they approached the famous triangle, they encountered unimaginable energy flows, their instruments reacting to something unparalleled in their experience. Swirls of light and darkness, like a gateway to another dimension, began to shimmer before them, as if inviting them inside. Everything was clearly planned, but as they entered the anomaly zone, their quantum computers malfunctioned and communication with the outside world broke down. Their plane was swallowed up by the glittering space, and they found themselves inside a secret world where the previous explorers had previously disappeared to. In this alternate dimension, they discovered a supernatural symphony where past, present and future intertwined in a vortex of boundless mystery. The forces inherent in this place attempted to influence their minds and senses, triggering visions and predictions. Unlike the previous explorers, however, this group was better prepared for the mystical forces of the Bermuda Triangle. They used their knowledge to preserve their consciousness and not succumb to the forces that terrified previous explorers. On their journey through this otherworldly landscape, they noticed the ghosts of the previous missing wandering restlessly in this dimension. These souls, as if trapped between worlds, were invisible witnesses to the dark secrets that drew their fellow explorers to this mystical region. As the group of explorers tried to understand the nature of this dimension and find a way to return to their world, they realized that every step in this place created a new mystery. They encountered time archives where the events of previous disappearances merged into one incredible picture. Thus, the group of researchers found themselves inside the very source of the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, their fate becoming part of this vast enigma. They continued their quest to understand and unlock the mystical powers of the region, but it became clear that each new question they asked only added new chapters to a story that seemed to have no end. With each step into this alternate dimension, the explorers encountered past events that had passed in the darkness of the Bermuda Triangle. Imprisoned in this time loop, they illuminated terrifying secrets that became part of their deepest fears and dreams. In their quest for understanding, they witnessed the memories of missing explorers, seeing events that took place in other time points. Experiencing tragedies and joys, they became part of those destinies that had previously remained in the shadows of this mysterious region. With each meter they traveled, their consciousness connected with the past, present and future, creating an unimaginable mosaic of time. They realized that their research was not just an attempt to uncover mysteries, but a guiding light in their own journey through the vortex of the Bermuda Triangle. Through glittering portals, they saw their lives in other realities, felt the same mysterious forces that in the past had drawn their brethren into this parallel world. They realized that here time had no linear structure, but rather wove a web of events and destinies. Nevertheless, even in this otherworldly labyrinth where consciousness blurred between worlds, they maintained their drive to seek answers. They tried to unravel the messages encapsulated in light and shadow, searching for the keys to their release from this time loop. In this way, the group of explorers became part of the very mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Their journey became not only an act of exploration, but also a reflection of their own souls implicated in this cosmic mystery. They remained enmeshed in the vortex of the mystical region, their story connecting to the story of those who had previously disappeared, creating a vast saga of mysteries and secrets forever unsolved.